Hi, I'm Ethan Clark, and today I'll be interviewing my grandfather on bladder and prostate cancer.
Hi Ethan, thanks for the opportunity. Let me explain about bladder cancer and prostate cancer.
So, how did it all start?
Well, in 2014, I got up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I happened to look into the toilet, and unfortunately all I saw was blood. Talk about being scared. I called the doctor first thing in the morning when I got up. I went down to the urology, and they did a cystectomy, which is it's a procedure where they take a camera, they put it through your penis into your bladder. And unfortunately, when it started, they actually put it into my kidney. Fortunately, they did, because how this all started was they had to take my kidney out because it was full of cancer. So I had to go back, they took it out, had to go back for some tests, and then they had to go in and just take a look at the bladder and make sure everything was okay after they took out the kidney. And they found that there were some lesions inside the bladder.
And what is a lesion?
A lesion looks like think of it as an icicle that's like hanging down off the side of a roof. And they're just little particles that are in the bladder that they had to take out and do a biopsy on. So they did the biopsies, and it came back carcinoma in situ, which could be a form of cancer or could not be a form of cancer. And at that time, they thought it was cancer. So they were treating me for cancer. It was just basically taking pictures, watching to see if they grew, and they didn't. So I had to go through some tests of what's called BCG treatments. Jumping ahead a little bit, and they had to do 2 or 3 more tests, and still they didn't find out that it was cancer, still carcinoma in situ. So got through that, and the doctor decided to somehow keep the carcinoma inside the bladder, and the only way to do that was to give me it was called immunotherapy. And what that is a BCG treatment with interferon, which interferon is a drug that they add to the BCG that's placed in the bladder. And inside the bladder, the medicine that's in there, the liquid, you have to keep it in there for a couple of hours, and then you urinate it out. You put bleach in the bowl to kill the bacteria that was in you, and then 6 weeks later, they go back in and check to see if the interferon has worked or not. I just got done with the 6th interferon immunotherapy, and we're going to go back in another 6 weeks to see if the cancer is still there or if it's not. Hopefully it's not. So we'll see what happens in 6 weeks with the bladder.
That's great. But how did this all begin into prostate cancer?
So the prostate cancer, fortunately, when they were doing one of the procedures, the doctor decided to do a rectal exam, and they went in and they found like little bumps that were on the prostate, and they took a biopsy, and it came back that they were cancer. So they did a full prostate, they took the full prostate out, which in the long run, that was easy compared to the bladder, okay? In the bladder, you're looking at probably 1 out of 10, you're looking at a 5. With prostate cancer, you're looking at a 1. So the prostate cancer scared the life out of me more than the bladder did, because I thought that at that time, the bladder was not as important as the prostate. Come to find out, they're both. You got cancer. You got cancer. We all have cancer. We all have the cancer cell. Fortunately, some of the cancer cells in people, you know, they're in you, and they're basically, they can come alive or they can stay asleep. Mine happen to come alive, so that's where I'm at right now with the prostate cancer.
So the prostate cancer is taken care of?
The prostate cancer is gone. It's a great thing, believe me. You know, to have that off my mind, dealing with the with the so-called bladder carcinoma in situ, cancer, not cancer. It's the one thing I do want to say is if it is cancer, Ethan, that the only way to take care of this is to take the bladder out and they replace it with your intestines, which I am not looking forward to. So by doing the BCG with the interferon, hopefully we won't have to take that route, and I can live a happy life. So we'll see what happens as the treatments go on.
So how does the intestines work as the bladder?
So what happens is your bladder is just a collection area of your urine. And what happens is they take out the bladder and they reroute your intestines over to where the bladder was, and they make like a pouch where you don't have to have a colonoscopy bag which hangs out of the side of your the left-hand side or the right side of your body, which you have to change twice a day. This way here, it's a new procedure. They're able to make a pouch that looks like your bladder where the urine will collect and then you're able to urinate it out. So it's a great thing going forward. If I have to have that done, no, I don't want to, so we'll see what happens.
And the doctors caught these cancers very early in the development?
They did, and all I can say is if there's anybody that's listening to this video that is urinating blood, or they have the slightest idea that there's blood in the urine, they really need to call the doctor. And hopefully by what we're doing today, what you're doing today, will incite everybody to really take a look at their urine and proceed from there.
Mm-hmm. So I guess this is the end of the... I can cut this out.
Mm-hmm.
I actually can.
Okay.
So I guess this is the end, so should we end it? Just...
Yeah, so you can end it by saying...
I want to thank you for... Let me start at the end.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for letting me interview you about the bladder and prostate cancer and showing it to my class for my presentation.
Anytime, Ethan, to help. Hopefully this will incite people to really take a look at themselves and take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.